Hello, welcome to the Konnekt-000-7 experience. Here, we come to the podcast where human connection is everything. If you're trying to connect better with those around you, you're in the right spot. So please, sit back, relax, open your mind, and enjoy the experience. What is up, Konnekt-000-7 Tribe? I am the host of this amazing podcast. My name is Thaddeus Sims, and today is our 74th episode titled 7 Tips on Connecting with People. Going into the announcement, which has been the same, it is let us get the Konnekt-000-7 page on Facebook to 1,000 for our 1-year anniversary coming up November 20th. Once we do that, I will have a surprise for everybody. So I'm super excited about that. I've been noticing a few people have been liking the page. So that has been super awesome. And I've been recognizing that. So thank you. And going into the fun fact, which it made me laugh a little bit because you'll see. This is the fun fact. After the premiere of 16 and Pregnant, teen pregnancy rates dropped. So yeah, they dropped. MTV may not have the most wholesome programs, but after the premiere of this show, teen pregnancy dropped by 5.7% within 18 months of the show airing. This made me laugh a little bit because it's just like, yeah, once you see something like that, you kind of think, let me slow down a little bit. I remember when I first seen it, I was just like, wow, they're so young and they're still like babies themselves and they're having babies. I was like, oh man, that's crazy. But after learning a lot of different things with a lot of different cultures, like that's not really that young, I guess, is being in America and stuff like that. We're programmed like, yeah, like, you under 18, you trying to have a baby now? But in other cultures, they have kids earlier. So it's like, yeah, it's just a matter of culture. So that's something that was more of a talk to myself. That's something I've observed, right? And it's just pretty cool because I'm noticing a lot of the listeners who are international and not from here. And just knowing this has allowed me to just observe or open myself up more to just different cultures and how everybody does different things. So it's just interesting. That was total side note. So let us go into this episode. So there are 7 tips on connecting with people. The first tip is an icebreaker. So find something to compliment on a person. Why, right? It's a great conversation starter, and it's the easiest thing to do when you don't know what to say. So if you're somewhere, you're in a mall living your best life, or you're out shopping and you would like to maybe get to know more people or test your people skills and you don't really know what to say, an icebreaker is going to help you with that. And the easiest icebreaker is just to find something on a person to compliment them on. Be it a shirt they're wearing, be it a dress, be it their shoes, whatever style they have, a bracelet. Just really observe. It also helps you to stop focusing on yourself and focus on the other person. So that's the first tip. The second tip is ask open-ended questions. Preferably questions in the format of, what are your thoughts on this? Or it allows you to observe, it allows you to observe how the person thinks. I love doing this because when you ask questions that can end with yes or no, it just stops the flow of the conversation. But when you ask a question like, hey, what are your thoughts on whatever's going on around the world, or something that you're probably interested in? So I know for me, I'm interested in traveling. So I always like to ask people, hey, what are your thoughts on traveling like outside of the state or outside of the country? It allows me to see how the person thinks. They may say they really love it. They've been here, they've been there. It's been this, it's been that. And it allows me to have more, I would say, things to talk about with the individual. And then at the same time, some people may say, oh, they're very afraid to go out of the state because of what's going on and what they're seeing. So that allows me to really get to see a little bit more in depth of how the person is, their emotional state with a lot of things. So it's really cool. That's my preferred method. But I noticed just when connecting with people and you ask open-ended questions, you will be very surprised at the answers you get, and the flow of the conversation is much better. So the third tip is social media versus a number. Now, what I mean by this is after a great in-depth personal conversation and the vibes are super on point. Like, I mean, you go somewhere and you just met someone, you broke the ice or whatever. They talk to you, however it goes, and you just have a really nice, deep conversation, like a conversation you rarely have with people. Like, and the vibes are so on point. They're not creepy. They're not weird. You're not uncomfortable. It's as if like you are talking with one of your close friends, right? At that point, ask for the number, and you can end it with, because I like, hey, what I mean by this is, hey, after, you're about to go or whatever, or it's getting time for one of you guys to go, like, hey, I would love to keep in touch. What's your number? I really had a great conversation with you, right? You just want to keep in touch. It's normal. It's okay. The vibes have been okay. It's not weird. You had a very deep conversation. And it's okay to ask for the number then. That's what I do, again, when I have a very deep conversation with someone I just met. Or if I had a light conversation and the person seems pretty cool and I wouldn't mind staying in touch with them, I'd ask for their social media account. So preferably I'd use Instagram, or secondly, I'd use Facebook. It also helps you keep your networking skills sharp. But what I mean by this is with a light conversation is I do this all the time when I'm traveling. So I just got back from Tennessee yesterday, actually. And I think I met, 4 to 5 people, a little bit more people just getting on the plane, going there and back, and Whole Foods and a lot of different things. So I've had like light conversations with the people. They were super cool and, got to know them a little bit. There's one person, she's a super cool mom. She has 5 kids and she's teaching, and she was going to Tennessee for a wedding. So we had a good conversation. The person next to us, he's a cool dude. He's from Puerto Rico, born and raised there, and then he came over to America for a bit, didn't know a lick of English, and now he is just doing his thing. I met another person at Whole Foods who helped me and my girl out, and he was super, super cool. And then there was someone else. There was another person on my way there, and then we had the same time getting there and coming back. And I seen her like the second time, and we just had a conversation. And I was like, hey, let me add you on. Let's stay in touch. You never know. I might see you when I go somewhere else, and it was super cool. So whenever you just have light conversations with people, and it just seems really good, just ask them for their Instagram. It's not weird. It's not awkward. It's just their Instagram account, right? It's not like their number or anything, it's a really easy medium to stay in contact with the person. And again, it increases your network skills. So you need to network out here, right? So the fourth tip is don't keep talking about yourself. When you do that, it's a turnoff, and it shows you have no people skills. A lot of us out here think we have people skills, or we know how to connect or communicate with people. But if you're always talking about yourself, it's really a turnoff, and a person doesn't really care to keep the conversation with you because you're going to always turn it onto yourself. So here's what I mean. If we were having a conversation and you were to say, hey, Dad, I was thinking of going to, we'll say somewhere. I was thinking of going to Seattle for the summertime. They just telling you, they just started a conversation. Like, oh yeah, I've been out there. I could say, yeah, I've been out there. It was really nice. I had a good time. I did this. I did that. I met this people. It was fun, and things like that. Now, the person may say, oh, okay, cool. I'm thinking of going to the needle and I just take the conversation. Yeah, I did that. I went over here. I went over there. The needle was nice. I got to see this and I got to see that. And I'm not asking the person about themselves or why they're even going to Seattle. Every time they say something, I'm constantly just saying, I. After a while, that gets very annoying. And the person will literally just say, oh, okay, well, hey, thank you. And they probably won't ask you again because you're constantly talking about yourself. People don't like that. Now, you have to be aware of that. And how to fix that is people skills books that I always recommend. So like How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dynamic People Skills. That's a really good book. That's going to punch you in the face. So Dynamic People Skills by Dexter Yeager. That's a really, really good book. And there's more. But those were some of the books that I read and helped me to not do that. Which actually leads to the fifth tip. So the fifth tip is people love talking about themselves, right? That people may not say they do, but that is the people really do. Let me just say that people really love talking about themselves. So ask questions about other people, and they'll think that you're the best person ever, because people rarely get to experience someone showing them interest and wanting them to talk. So a lot of us, we're working, we're doing whatever it is that we have to do. And a lot of people don't really ask us for our opinion too much on something, unless you have a job where you are the leader and they need to know. But besides that, it's a different environment. So for someone to show interest, not to date you, but just to show interest in you, period, and ask you questions and things like that, people will love that. And if you're constantly putting the conversation on them, they may say, for example, let me give you an example of this. I do this all the time. So when I'm connecting with people, I always ask them questions about themselves. Hey, what do you do? How long you've been doing it? Where, and however it goes, they'll tell me something and I constantly add them. And the person may say, what about you? What do you do? And I say, oh yeah, I do a podcast. This is what I do. Oh, wow, you do a podcast. What's it about? It's about this, it's about that. But what else do you do? What have you been doing? Or do you like to create different things? So they'll ask me questions and I answer it and I always throw it back on them and show interest. And now this isn't me using them, because I genuinely would like to know them and love talking about them, because it allows me to learn more about the person. And doing this, the person will literally think you're the best person ever. They'll feel really comfortable around you. They'll think that you are the best person to have a conversation with, when really all you did was just ask them questions about themselves, right? So that's a very good tip for you to have. I personally love learning new things about people, so this is always really cool for me. The sixth tip is, this is a little bit different, but when you have a potential person who can mentor you, ask them really a question like this. Like, a lot of people will say, hey, when it comes to a mentor, they may say, hey, I would like to take you out to eat or something, or treat you to ask you questions, right? And I've learned that a lot of mentors don't really like that. It's just like kind of annoying after a while. But a tip with that is, so ask a potential mentor, what does it take for me to earn a few minutes of your time? When you do that, it shows that you respect their time, and it also shows that you're not just trying to be a taker in the meetup or relationship. And they'll love that. And of course, they're going to test you, because, everybody asks them that. So they're obviously going to say, hey, okay, well, shoot me this email, or shoot me something around this time. They're going to test you to see if you're worth them giving their time to, because they have a bunch of other things to do. So instead of saying, hey, I would like to treat you out to this, that, and the other, ask the person instead, the potential mentor, what does it take to earn a few minutes of your time? And that tip is really, really golden. I know that was kind of like a little bit different, but that's really golden if there's someone you would like to learn from, and it'll help you stand out the most. So that's a really good tip. I know there are a few mentors in my life, and it was awesome just earning their time. And it's just something about when you earn the time of someone that you respect, and they are in a position that you are desiring to be in, doing that will definitely help. And the last tip is really, don't project past experiences on a new person you meet. So doing this closes you off from experiencing all aspects of this new person. So here's an example. If you see someone who maybe dressed like someone who has a style similar to someone you may have had, I would say, a bad experience with, don't project that similarity to this new person and think, oh, they're just like this person. And you already kind of have like your mind made up to a degree that this person is like this, that, and the other. And they're really not. So when you do this, it really closes you off. I say this because I have been guilty of it, and not in a negative way, but I've been guilty of it even in a not so negative way. So I'll see some people who will remind me like of one of my brothers or my sisters, and I'll kind of come at them like that. And granted, it has not been a bad experience, but I've noticed that even I'd kind of project a little bit. So what I've done is when I see a person, I'll admit to myself, oh, they remind me of this brother or this friend, but let me get to know who they really are. And when you do that, like you tell yourself, okay, you admit to yourself, they do remind you of someone, but you tell yourself you never met this person. They can be a completely different person. When you have that 2-second dialogue with yourself, then you can start talking with that individual. So you don't close off pretty much experiencing different aspects. There are people who I have met who do really remind me exactly of someone I know. And I kind of came at them that way, and they completely surprised me. They were nothing at all like how I perceived them to be because of, how they looked. So if you're out there and you're projecting things on people, be aware of that. And it's okay in the beginning. Just tell yourself, okay, they do remind you of this individual, but know that they may not be exactly that person. So that, guys, is the 7 tips on connecting with people. Moving on to the health is wealth. Today's actual topic is going to be solitude. Now, solitude is very important. I am what I call myself an ambivert. So I am very social, but at the same time, I need to be in solitude as well. Like I need to be away from human beings, and I need to be in a very closed off space, not hearing a single person breathing or anything like that. Don't want to be around a person. Yeah, I'm both. I recharge in solitude, and at the same time, I do get charged up by being around people a little bit. So I'm more of an ambivert. But let's talk about specifically solitude. Solitude is really, really, really good for you. And I find that a lot of people don't make the time to have solitude for themselves or that quality time because they're either so busy or they're doing other things. When you don't have solitude, it does kind of affect you. So it's important to take some time out for yourself. Now, let me take a swig of water here. And let us go into these benefits, right? So, I believe I have 7 benefits. So the first benefit of solitude is alone time, or alone time solitude. Alone time increases empathy. So when you spend time with a certain circle of friends or your coworkers, you develop a we versus them mentality. So spending time alone helps you develop more compassion for people who may not fit in your inner circle. And that is very true. Some of these, I was doing a little bit of research. Some of these are scientifically backed up. And I'm actually telling on myself here as I'm going through this with you all, is that I notice when I am around a certain group of friends or a certain circle, after a while, I do slowly start to develop that we versus them type of thing. Cause it's like, okay, yeah, this is my circle. This is the ones who are all, conscious about things. And then I'll say stuff like, okay, well, most people probably isn't like this, right? But when I get in solitude and I develop more of my empathy, I start to see more things with other people that I probably wouldn't have hung out with. So just having that is just hearing this is just really awesome. So yeah, solitude helps with that. I noticed when I did get in solitude and I developed that, it changed, it made me observe how I think. And I've seen that with other people. Second benefit of solitude is that it increases productivity. Although so many offices have started creating open floor plans so everyone can communicate more easily, studies show being surrounded by people kills productivity. So people perform better when they have a little privacy. I can definitely say that's total fact for me. When I need to do anything that requires like productivity or work, like especially the podcast, I have to be alone. I can't be around people. It does kill my productivity. Or being around a huge group of people and I'm trying to get something done. No, it will be to the point where if I can't find a spot to do my productive work in a building, I will go out in a car. I will literally go in my car and do some type of work. Have the AC on, window up, and literally just get to work. I have to be in solitude as well. It literally increases my productivity so much. So guys, if you are noticing your productivity is kind of lacking a little bit and you've been around more people or your homeboy, your homegirl, or best friends a lot, then maybe or your kids, take some time for yourself. It increases your productivity. The third benefit is that solitude sparks creativity. There's a reason a lot of authors or artists want to go into a cabin in the woods or a private studio to work. So being alone with your thoughts gives your brain a chance to wonder, which can help you become more creative. So this is definitely true. I would definitely say with the creativity as well. I draw rarely here and there, but when I am alone, my mind does wander and a bunch of different images comes to mind. So that is pretty cool. The fourth benefit is being alone can help you build mental strength. So we're social creatures and it's important for us to have strong connections with other people, but solitude may be just as important. Studies show the ability to tolerate alone time has been linked to increased happiness, better life satisfaction, and improved stress management. People who enjoy alone time experience less depression. Love it. The fifth benefit is solitude may reduce behavior problems in kids. So when you carve some solitude in your schedule, you show your children that being alone is a healthy thing to do. And research shows kids who learn to be by themselves are better behaved than other children. Be a good role model and teach solitary skills early. My mom definitely did that. I definitely had that for myself. When my mom would go to work and she would do her thing, I was home or I was somewhere and she would say, "Oh, you want to go here?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'll stay home." And I don't know. I looking back at it, I did learn a lot about myself. I did enjoy alone time. I did enjoy playing the game, just being in my own energy. And then sometimes it's like, okay, I guess I do need to be around people. So I did enjoy that. And the next, which is the sixth benefit, is being alone gives you an opportunity to plan your life. Most people spend a lot of time planning weddings and vacations, but never plan how to get the most out of life. Spending time alone can give you a chance to ensure there's a purpose to all of your hustling and bustling. Quiet space provides an opportunity to think about your goals, your progress, and changes you want to make in your life. Yeah, I'm definitely in that boat a lot. I would definitely say that planning out life and stuff like that. That definitely hit home with, the hustling, bustling part. Okay, then. All right, solitude. I'm learning stuff too. Okay, the seventh and the final benefit, there's more, but just for this episode. The seventh benefit is solitude helps you know yourself. Being alone helps you become more comfortable in your own skin. And when you're by yourself, you can make choices without outside influences. And that will help you develop more insight into who you are as a person. And yes, that is very true, because when you get some time for yourself in solitude, especially in the courses that I have been working on with people, that's one of the things I have discovered is you really get to know yourself in solitude. So with that being said, guys, that is it for this episode. I greatly, greatly appreciate your time, and I appreciate you all pressing play and being able to share this space and moment with me in time. You guys are awesome, and I look forward to speaking with you all Tuesday. With that being said, I will talk to you soon. Later. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Please leave a 5-star rating and share with a friend near you. Remember, the world's a better place because you exist. Know your worth and know thyself.